Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to talk start collecting Moonstone, the game, and today we're going to be looking at the Faun faction for the game. In this video, we're going to go through, talk about a box set called the Hunting Horns, which we think is a great place to get started with for the Moonstone game, before looking at some of the other options available to us with this particular faction. We'll then finish off the video with a little army list for you, using the 6 best models we think make the best team for the Fauns, or at least using the Hunting Horns to their fullest extent. Now, with that said, in this box and in this video, we think the Hunting Horns box set is the best way to get started with the Fauns. For me, this gives you a great variety of different characters, gives you a decent combat hitter in Hoff, who is the beastman with the horn there. Now, he's got melee 4 and a 2-inch range, arcane 4 there with no evade as well. His felling axe ability, if the character ever deals piercing melee damage, he reduces the damage dealt to dash, and if the character deals impact melee damage, increase it by +2. His Guerrilla Tactician rule is really nice and boosts the rest of your Fauns in your team as well, where other friendly Fauns within 6 inch will gain +1 to their melee stat, and will gain the Swift rule when making a reaction step while engaged with an enemy. They may move 2 inch instead of the usual 1, which he can give out once per turn. Now, Furious Charge is one of the abilities he can use, and this allows him to move this model, himself, 3 inch directly towards a target enemy model. If the character's next action this turn is a melee attack, they get +1 damage. His Hunting Horn is his other ability he can use for a single spend, for a single one of his stamina, and it can only be used once per turn, but with an X, he can move target other friendly Faun X plus 1 inches. However, it does have a catastrophe that the target is moved up to 3 inch by the resisting player instead. So he's a pretty cool central piece. Now, Jada backs him up nicely. She's a really good solo operator for the Fauns. Melee 4, 1-inch range, arcane 4, and a -1 on her evade are really nice. Her dagger allows her to do +1 damage with piercing melee damage, and Swift is on her profile standard, so she doesn't actually need to be near Hoff to get his Swift benefit. Sure-footed as well allows them to jog over water features and wooden patches and pay 1 less energy for these traverse actions. She then has her own magical ability for Shortbow, which is a 10-inch range and 3 stamina to use. Target suffers X +1 piercing damage. Catastrophe, though, it can't be used for the remainder of the game as her bow breaks. And lastly, we have Mr. Toodles. Now, he has melee 2, 1-inch range, arcane 5, and an evade of 0, though he is a weakling, so reduces all melee damage by -1, and harvest actions cost him an extra energy to do. However, he's got a bunch of different magical abilities, from healing, which allows him to restore X +1 wounds, or lullaby, which can allow him to choose an enemy model and make them discard half its energy, and then restoring 2 wounds to them. So he has a nice little bit of counterplay there. His Blighted Elixir, once per turn as well, allows you to do a variety of different things, from moving the target X directly away, target will gain X -1 energy, or target will suffer some wounds as well. But where can we look to get some other models for our faction? And I think the Malachite Mystics are a good box set to pick up alongside the Fauns. So this box set really revolves around, first of all, the fact we have Regan, Leader Priestess, in here. Her big thing is she can have Verdant Growth, where she can place a 50mm diameter wood patch within 4x of her that remains in place until the end of the game, and then she can do a bunch of things like restore energy around this, or deal some damage as well, and she can also target non-spirits to gain back some wounds. She's got her own special rule as well called Expel. Whenever a character suffers a catastrophe after resolving and drawing an arcane card, look, then place it face down beside this character card. At any point, you can add the removed card to your arcane or arcane resist hand. If you do, then at the end of the action, if this character is slain, shuffle the card back into the arcane deck. She can do some nice things. She's protected by Clausen there, who is like her little protector. His big thing is the protector rule, where if the friendly named character is in play, then this character gains protection. The first time this character would suffer damage each turn, reduce the damage to dash, which is pretty cool, so he's protected by her. And he's got a melee of 3, so he's a nice little combat character. Gwendolyn, the Leader Priestess, as well, is in there. She has the ability to scry, where you can draw the top card of the arcane decks, look at it, and place it face down beside the character, and she can add it to her hand, much the same as what Regan can do. Now, we have some other more punchy ones, like the Wild Things box set. The Wild Things, first of all, will come with the Wendigo, which is an absolutely hammer of a piece for the Fauns. Now the Wendigo has melee 4, 1 inch range, no arcane, no evade, but its rending claws allow it to do +1 damage to all melee, and melee from this character counts as magical as well. Sure-footed allows the character to jog over water features and wood patches. Quite terrifying as well. Whenever a non-giant, non-troll enemy card ends a move in this model's melee zone for the first time this turn, it must discard an energy if it's able to. It also has its own mind control ability where it can target an enemy model, then immediately makes an action available to them that would normally have its energy cost. The action is controlled by you, even if the target is an enemy. It counters a friendly model, so you can make your opponent's models attack each other. Now, alongside him, we have Gloom, who is the one holding the lantern at the back there. He is a really cool little movement piece and can move animals around the table, which is really fun. And then we have Chubbs as well, a nice little short archer where he can target fawns and animals and give them some extra energy as well with his rouse ability. We then have a rather cool piece, which is Boris the Bunny Summoner. Now, Boris the Bunny Summoner, well, as you would expect, can summon the bunnies to the table. He's murder bunnies. But he's the Herdmaster, so this character gains +1 energy during the replenish step for each of his friendly murder bunnies in play. His Shepherd Crook will allow if the character deals slice or piercing melee damage. It does nothing, but impact will always do +1. His Shabby Old Cloak will juice all magical, which is really quite rare, and slicing damage by -1 as well. He can summon the murder bunnies, as said, but he can also summon the jackalope, which is really cool, and we'll talk about that in just a sec. Murder bunnies are melee 2, 1 inch range, and evade -1. Now, you can always have up to 3 murder bunnies in play at a time. If a 4th is summoned, you must choose one of the friendly murder bunnies to be removed and then replace it. Now, they are weaklings, and they are thralls as well, so this character can only enter play when summoned by the named character, Boris the Bunny Summoner. If it does not activate, it can never gain energy. Instead, when the named character is active, the character can take actions including jog, but discarding the required energy of the named character reaction steps. So, effectively, Boris sort of has to give up his action to move his little summoned murder bunnies around. Now, they do have some cool things where if a character plays a rising attack, increase the damage by +2, so the bunnies can get some extra damage there. And they can freely move over terrain features as well. Now, lastly, we have the Jackalope, which is the giant horned bunny down there. Absolutely adorable, but this thing can pack a decent punch. So melee 3 with range 2 inch. It's got the hop as well, where you can move at 4 inch and you can move freely over other abilities. The burrowing claws allow it to do better at harvest action, and its razor sharp antlers allow it to do +2 damage on piercing attacks. And so here we have our little sample warband all put together. Now, we've gone for playing in the Le Cheval alignment under the Fauns. Now, the characters I think that really work nicely as a team in this. First of all, the 3 members of our Hunting Horn, Hoff, Jada, and Mr. Toodles. Hoff is really good with other fighting characters around him. Jada is a nice solo operator, and Mr. Toodles is just a useful utility. Now, we've gone the Wendigo, because this is a fawn, it will get the benefit of getting Hoff around it, which is really, really cool. Regan, Le Cheval Priestess, I think she's probably the better out of the 2 priestesses. She's still a fawn herself, unlike some of the others, so she's definitely going to benefit more. She can also get the +1 attack from Hoff. And those trees can be really nice and set you up in some good territory. Having Klaus there as well, working alongside Raven and Hoff, he's a nice little fighty piece as well. Rounds out the force really well. So we've got 3 decent fighters, 2 of them, probably one of them at least wants to work around Hoff. The Wendigo definitely can solo operate along with Jada as well, so we've got some good individual fighters there. Reagan can provide a bunch of abilities, and Mr. Toodles is really, really solid utility. If you've been playing with the Fauns in Moonstone, let us know how you've been going down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here, we have a Discord server for Sinful Gaming, which you'll find linked down in the video's description. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either by supporting us on Patreon or YouTube members, both of which are linked down in the video's description, or grab some merch from our Teespring or Ko-fi stores for yourself as well. All these are the best ways to help support the channel. As a special thank you to everyone who does help support the channel in such a way, we'd like to give a shout out to all our Patreons and YouTube members. So, thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Kevin Bowman, Iron Grinch. And to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Osworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South, David Crozier, and Dylan Areno. And lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and a special thanks to all the mods that help with our Discord server and all the people that come on the regular to help with everything on the YouTube channel. Thank you all once again for watching. Stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.